We have some signing news today as the Seattle Kraken commit to one of their best offensive players. Jared McCann has signed a 5-year contract extension with the Kraken. We'll get into the details right now. Hey everybody, so we got some big signing news today involving the Seattle Kraken as they have re-signed forward Jared McCann to a 5-year contract extension worth $5 million per season, keeping him in Seattle for the foreseeable future. And boy, I just gotta say, I love this deal for the Kraken. Jared McCann is a guy who just keeps getting better and better each year as he goes along in the league. He's got over 30 points this season on a team that really doesn't have a whole lot of offense. And he's still just 25 years old, so there's room for continued growth for McCann as he gets deeper into his NHL career and more into his prime years. And for Seattle, he is one of their best offensive players. This is a guy that they really needed to keep around, should keep around, and I'm very glad that they did. Back a few weeks ago when I did my 5 players to trade video for the Kraken, I purposely kept McCann off of that list because I wanted Seattle to keep him because I think he has a lot of upside. And I'm very happy now that Seattle has decided to keep him because I think he can become a very, very good top 6 player for them on this team. So let's take a look here at Jared McCann, what he brings to the table, how his NHL career has progressed. He's 25 years old, still obviously a fairly young player. He has 21 goals in 50 games this year with Seattle. Again, that's pretty good production. This is a team that doesn't bring a lot offensively, doesn't score a lot of goals. So for him to have 21 goals this year, that's a pretty good number. And if we scroll through, we'll take a look at his career. This is a guy who's just gotten better and better and better. He was drafted originally by Vancouver, only lasted 1 season before the Canucks decided to move him, which I thought was kind of weird. But he ends up going to the Florida Panthers, and he didn't really produce in Florida the way that I thought he was going to. His best season with the Panthers was 2017-18, where he had 28 points in 68 games. Again, he was an okay, third liner for Florida, but didn't really reach that next level until he got traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And he really started to blossom in Pittsburgh and show what kind of player he could become. When he first got traded to Pittsburgh during the 2018-19 season, he played 32 games with the Penguins after the trade and had 17 points in those 32 games. And again, was still playing kind of like a third-line role. Wasn't really a top 6 player yet. Then in 2019-2020, he really started to break out. He had 35 points in 66 games. Started to see more production out of him. He got up to 14 goals, which was a very, very good number for him. And then he came back last season in 2021, only played 43 games because of injury, but still had 14 goals and 32 points in those 43 games. And that's when his points per game really started to show up. Then, obviously, after last year, we had the Seattle expansion draft. Pittsburgh ended up trading him to Toronto, and then Toronto ended up leaving him exposed in the expansion draft. I honestly kind of think, personally, I thought Toronto should have kept McCann and protected McCann and let Kerfoot maybe go in the expansion draft because I think McCann has more upside offensively than Kerfoot. But they left McCann unprotected. He gets picked up by Seattle. And this season, he has 33 points. 21 of those are goals in 50 games with the Seattle Kraken this year. And I still don't think, obviously it's a career best year as far as goal scoring goes with 21, but he still has not reached his full potential yet. This is a guy that I think can become a 50-point player and a very, very solid second liner in the NHL. The other thing that I really like about him is that he is versatile. He can play center or the wing, and you guys know that I love players like that. You can kind of shift around your lineup, put in different positions, and can really contribute and help the team throughout the lineup wherever they happen to be needed. And Jared McCann is a guy that can do that. Obviously, he's a heavy minus this year at minus 21. But you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt because Seattle is not a very good team. And that's kind of what you get with bottom-feeding teams like this. Generally, their players are often heavy minuses because they get outscored so much throughout the course of the season. So, yeah, you're on the ice for more goals against than goals for because your team doesn't score that many goals for. So I kind of take that with a grain of salt because he was always a plus player in Pittsburgh. So again, if you put him on a good team, he's a plus player. I think the heavy minus is mostly because he's in a last place team in Seattle. I love the goal scoring here from McCann. 21 goals, career best. If you get him some more players to work with, some more scorers to play with, that assist number is going to go up too, because generally throughout his career, he's been more of an assist guy than scorer. So this season has kind of been a flip, and I think a lot of that has to do with him kind of being one of the main scorers for Seattle and not really playing with that high-level talent around him that can help him rack up assists as well. But if you get some other scorers in Seattle, that assist number is going to go up, and I think he's going to be pushing towards a 50-point season with the Seattle Kraken. And if he gets a 50-point season, he is a bona fide second-line player at that point. Top 6 guy, clearly, and well worth this contract. 5 years for a 25-year-old player, absolutely no problem with that. $5 million per season, I love it. I mean, for a guy that I think is going to have some 50-point years, I absolutely love it. That is almost a team-friendly-ish contract. If he can hit 50 points and only get paid $5 million per season, honestly, that is a very, very reasonable contract for the Seattle Kraken. I think he's going to continue to be one of their best offensive players. I'd love to see them add a little bit more talent around him. And honestly, they can get some more production and some more scoring out of him without a doubt. But all in all, I absolutely love this deal for Seattle. I love what I've seen from Jared McCann. I love the growth throughout his career. He's a guy that just, he got drafted in the first round. Vancouver gave up on him very, very quickly. They ended up moving him to Florida. He didn't really produce as much as I hoped in Florida, but then once he got to Pittsburgh, he really started to take those next steps. And now he's really become one of the main offensive players for Seattle. I think he's going to continue to be a main offensive player for Seattle. And I'm glad that they're keeping him around. I really like the contract, and I think that we are going to see Jared McCann have 50-plus point seasons in the NHL, and that is going to make him well worth this contract. So that's what I've got on the Seattle Kraken, re-signing forward Jared McCann. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our merchandise store, membership, and donation links are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys soon.